Welcome back to another episode of Night Vision. Today's episode will be pretty much about the West End. This is episode number 3 and the tour begins at the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery. I wanted to get a photo right now of the front of the building here. Now, there's a very important concept of just breathing space. So breathing space refers to basically the areas on the edge of the image that kind of cover the subject. So if you were to think about the building being the subject, a common mistake that I see plenty of people make, and I see this firsthand when I hand someone my camera and I get them to take a photo of something, they try and cram the subject within the whole frame that's getting captured. To me, like as someone with a trained eye, just looks wrong, but to them they can't really put their finger on why something looks right or not. So see right now, I'm kind of purposely too far forward. So I need to take a few steps back, allow the sky to come and take up a little bit more of the image. I always shoot with grid lines just so I know if things are centered or not. I'm lining up where it says the words Kelvin Grove Art Gallery Museum. This is a scary looking building, isn't it? Red lights will do that to you. The perfect conditions for night vision photos is when you have many reflections coming out, like river or water like reflections. That comes out when it's actually pissing down, but this is more suitable for me to be around rather than think about the photos alone. So anyway, we have these, they're basically L-shaped benches here, and I really like the way the light's just hitting off that, and it has some water just sitting on it at the moment. And I'm going to try and get that corner of the building along with some of the reflections coming off of the bench and those lights as well. I think all of that coming together looks quite cool. So again, I'm thinking about breathing space. If I were to think about minimal breathing space, I'd be over there, come back a wee bit, make sure the bench is in, but not just in, just like comfortably in. Some of these things that are interesting, like techniques that I learned about photography, I learned it simply through pointing and shooting. I didn't really do much theory work behind it. I just went out there and had fun. And then I got to understand different types of concepts. So there's things like leading lines, rule of thirds. That wasn't even something that I intentionally tried to do. I just liked how that looked. So at the moment there is scaffolding around the building. Your environment will change all the time. I've learnt that across the years of doing night vision. Sometimes I'll mark out a place. Let's say I'm just walking through the city centre and I've marked a place to take a photo of. I'll come back to that and get a photo later. And then I've just not gone there. Maybe it's been 2, 3, 4 weeks and scaffolding's appeared. Sometimes the scaffolding really just ruins the shot, and you're like, I wanted a clean shot of that building and now I have to wait till the never-ending works finish on it. Now, see, because there is a light drizzle, you can see right there in that light there is tiny, probably a speck of water on the lens that's just causing a bit of interference. Let's clean that. This is the #1 tip I can give any person taking a photo, just on their phone or camera. Make sure you wipe the camera down before you take your photo, especially in environments like the gym where there's like sweat and you've got like oil and stuff in your hands. You'll just see your quality just won't be there as it should do. Again, center this. I'll make the most of the scaffolding, create some of the atmosphere. Get a little portrait one. I'm not too much of a perfectionist when it comes to like lining up the geometry like perfectly. That's in that part of the grid and that's in the symmetry and over on the other side. Some of the stuff I just correct afterwards using the geometry feature. I think the geometry feature within Lightroom is incredible. I think it's something that I don't really see too many videos on, but to me it completely fixes certain capturing errors. This is a shot that I like just of a lot of buildings. If I just stand at the corner and then just look up, try and get that perfectly in the middle. I don't know, there's just something about that shot. I just like taking that shot. Details to me are very important as well. So one of these lamps, one of these lights, they probably have a whole technical name of the era and what style they're from and what year they're from. All I see is black. This almost looks like the moon. Let's try about this one. I kind of like that. It's actually something really cool about that one. I noticed there was one behind it. I can't see it, can't see it, can't see it. Okay, over there. Is it 3 of them? 4 of them. I can see the rain as well. If I can capture that and bring that out ever so slightly. Yeah, I like that. Perfect. Moving on. What I've noticed is the front of the building is well lit. It allows itself for great photos, especially for night vision photos. You can see there's like a slight green light up there. See what I can get. Cool thing about this camera, the P30 Pro, is things will appear brighter than they are in real life. It's astonishing at times. There's a mad rattling sound coming from either a generator or a family of rats. I'm not willing to find out and get clarity on that one, so I'll just move on. I love this, right? The red lights within that, along with a tree that's kind of dark and then a tree that's lit because of the lamp behind it, and I'll try and get all of those, all three features within the image. Within the editing, I'll have to make a mental note that that middle tree needs to be darkened. So if I can separate those two trees and make that happen, I'll try and do that. I don't know if you can tell how clear that is, but one camera is like rose gold or pink and one is silver. Landscape. Put them across to 1/3 of the image. This reminds me of a sign I saw at an event, and it said something like, if you pay attention to our security system, we will pay attention to you. I need to make sure I'm not staring at cameras too much. I'm limited with time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on. If you have like objects or other types of subjects within the area, within the environment, ask yourself the question, is it something that adds to the shot, or should I position myself so that it's out the shot? And I think in this case, sorry to your Igo drivers, it's not going to be adding to the shot in this case. That is the art gallery captured. Sometimes you got to look back from where you once came. Yeah. I can talk a little bit about the leading lines, which I touched on earlier. If you're to look at the railing here, it starts off in the bottom left corner, and then you can see it moves towards like I'm trying to follow with my taps, towards the centre of the image. Your eyes should start from watching the start of the railing at the bottom left and then move towards the middle, and then there'll be like the main subject or the main thing to look at there. And I never really used to pay attention to this, I just kind of used to see the images that I used to take and think, okay, like that looks nice. I couldn't explain concepts or techniques or anything that I've incorporated. So sometimes it is good to just patch the theory, go straight into the practical. You will learn quicker, you will learn much quicker at doing it that way anyway. Theory should be like the supplementary, and often we're stuck in the theory and we don't do the practical until way later on, and you realise like the theory was actually not as useful if I were to have done this the other way around. This is always a cool shot. Between these two trees emerges one of the Glasgow uni buildings. This happens sometimes where a light source too close almost like washes out the rest of the image. Sometimes that's just corrected by going forward a few steps. So I've thought of getting one with the signs, but see, because the signs have been vandalised, it's not street art at that point, it's just vandalism. See the way I'm using the leaves as a guide, giving it a bit of breathing space. What is that in the bottom left? Are they thistles? I'm not really a plant fauna person. Flora, isn't it? Not fauna. Fauna is animals. I'll show you the way I took it there, and I'll show you a way if I were to have not given it breathing space. So it's still emerging. You can still see it between the branches and leaves. There's not enough of a gap there. So this where we are is Kelvin Walkway, and I wish that coach and the circus kind of wasn't there so I could get a clean open shot. I'll try and get one anyway. Line up with this. Getting the tigers in, get the creps in, mate. I like that. The asymmetry of the coach actually does add to this. See the purple light also coming from the right hand side. Tap on that as well, just to make sure it's not overexposed. Around here is basically the Glasgow Uni campus, and this walkway essentially connects a big part of the campus, which is across there where the green lights are, to Argyll Street and the other side of the West End. So typically this street will be busy with footfall during the day, especially like during peak uni season. Okay, so we'll go across the walkway. Oh, beautiful. We've got 2 red post boxes, telephone boxes. Cover that. Yeah. So you can see that's not lined up as I want it to be. Is that a hat? I'm not wearing that hat. This side, we'll get the lights in, we'll create more of a shadow. The only issue is here's the bins. pair of phone boxes and a pair of bins. And a pair of benches. See that? I love that image actually, just one I've just taken. There's 3 pairs within it. Zoom out a little bit more. Get another pair. 2 bollards. There we go. There's been no NPC interactions in this so far. Great thing about geotagging in photos is I can just go to this photo and see where did I take this photo. So again, I'm trying to leave breathing space. So here it was a little bit congested if you were to look at the bottom corners of the image. Step back a few more. See the stairs, I have a bit more breathing room. Yeah. There we go. Here we are at the famous I'm going to say Glasgow Uni building because I don't know the name of the actual building. Let me find that one out real quick. Not sure how clear this is showing, but the way this is lit up from the little lights down there, so you have a set there and you have a set there and then there's a set there, is there is a splash of like yellow light along with orange light. This might require a few captures from different spots. So take one, move ever so slightly, change the angle ever so slightly, assess what I've taken, retake. I hear screaming from that direction. I cannot tell if it's a human or an animal. This is just part and parcel of the night vision experience. Sometimes you'll be glad that I'm out here, not you. So again, if I were to stand perfectly 45 degrees, look up. This photo will be specifically for the purpose of a wallpaper. So if I were to imagine a phone lock screen, and you've got your time and date or whatever up there, and you've got part of the building, that's how I'm going to take this photo. So leave a little bit of a gap. Or sometimes what I'll do is, seeing this photo, there's probably not enough gap. So what I'll do is within Photoshop, I'll extend the image. Usually using content aware fill. It was like the pre-AI way of filling in parts of an image with something that's not there. I think that would be open, but it's closed. Does it not make you think and be in awe of just how this is built? Look how tall that is. We've lost our creativity over the years, haven't we? There we go, look, so yellow light there, and we have orange lights there. The details are very important when it comes to like things like the caption to tell the story a little bit better. What I'm going to do is I'll try and use the classic leading lines technique using the double yellow lines, and that is the moon that you can see just appearing out of those clouds at the top. Maybe get more double yellows, go a bit lower, 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 maybe go across a wee bit. Maybe the double yellows are too straight on, move slightly left, even more. Yes, exposure is perfect in that one. Glasgow Uni is ticked off the list. We now arrive at Kelvin Bridge, basically across the River Kelvin, hence the name Kelvin Bridge. I wish this wasn't patchy. I think this would be a really cool car backdrop. There's a whole section of this photo that I don't like. If I were to go back to it, so we have this fully zoomed out. If I were to zoom in and cut that whole half of a pavement, I think it'd look a lot cooler. Like, look at that. So what I would do is 2 steps right, maybe not even, you know. I think I have to go closer. The tree's actually blocking the shot. Is that the sound of water? Oh no. Got barriers, these ugly ass barriers. No parking. So this is one example of environment changes all the time. Sometimes construction work, sometimes weather, it can be anything, it can be a number of things, and it can be a combination of things. I'll get the staircase. I'll take the shot, but I don't think it's special enough. The angle covers more character for me. As I'm looking to capture this, I'm looking at, okay, what do I want in the frame? So I want the edge, I want to make sure that edge is here, is visible, along with probably that side, but this Clio's in the way. And how I would think to do that is, okay, from where I'm standing right here, I know straight away that I'm probably too close. See, that's too tight. I've allowed zero breathing space, you know, as we talked about earlier on. And that far corner on the left. Good from this angle, I can't even see the car, but I'm always picturing my mind with just where I am in space. I think the best way to think about it for me is like GTA, you know the way GTA is you're third person, you can see your character at all times. And then imagine in one of those types of games you have like a free camera mode, so you're just moving the camera around and not necessarily following a character. That's like how I picture, like I'm moving the camera around. Straight away I know if I want to capture all of that, I need to be standing like there. More. Right, I'll get the ugly ass barrier. See, now we've got the detailed entire building. The building doesn't look healthy. Should there not be windows there? Personal taste, of course, but to me, all of that is ugly. You may not be able to see anything, but I want to see what this can capture. So if I got the photo of the staircase from that angle, then I need to be similarly over there to capture the staircase. I think there's dirt on my lens and I can't clean that. Quick little funny story on this. I tried to capture trout swimming. This was in, I think, northern Pakistan. And I put my phone underground, when I say underground, under the water, to try and capture this the fish swimming. I definitely didn't realise at the time that I'd already opened my camera before once, because the camera had to get replaced, therefore making it no longer water resistant. As soon as I took out the camera from the water, I remembered, because I could see it, evidence was there. And then it spent maybe 3-4 days just waiting for the cloudiness to disappear more and more. And then what's happened is softer, not as sharp as it used to be, but I make do with what I got. Again, I think square straight on, just like the staircase, doesn't give enough depth. And also there's my shadow in the bottom corner. NYK, I don't know what Nike is with a Y. There's some creepy sounds around here, man. Let's go up the steps. Oh, that's cool, look. Can you see that along with that? I don't think this shot I'm getting does this view justice. Pretty standard site. Glasgow Uni building. That's a cool shot. So what I want is straight on, cobbled path, with a bridge coming on the left side. There's a lot of dead space. That's a cool looking barrier. We'll give him credit. We'll get the logo in. Get the badge in, bro. A key element of the night vision photos or series is I like things being quiet. So now en route to the final location of the West End Wander, Ashton Lane. I'm hoping it's quite clear. I think the cobbled street around there is perfect just for photography. Take a right in here and then right again. I don't think I've driven this way before. I don't think I've gone. Oh, where have I ended up? This is a pure back road way to get to Ashton Lane. I was actually supposed to park round Great Western Road or Byres Road. I don't want to bring my car here. Suspension on this thing is... Oh no. It's a good thing I'm not trying to balance a bowl of water and some eggs on my head. We got a big dip in the road here. Ouch. Slap this here for now. XMB cross media bar. If you know, you know. Right, we're almost at the end of our trip. It's been a nice little walk for me. You could say it's a street for nightlife and whatever, but it has a really cool cobbled path that I think just looks spectacular. Wasn't fun to drive on, mind you, but for capturing this along with overhead lighting and then just some of the decorations and greenery around here, I think it's quite cool. I might actually want to get a photo of this little crater, you know, just to show the state of the roads around here. There we go. I shat it there for a sec. I looked at these shadows here, right, and it moved. I thought I was getting snuck up on. What were the shadows of? Oh, right, the trees up there. This part's not as interesting. A white van. If I wanted to see a white van, I'd go to Govan Hill. I think part of the essence of the night vision experience is being in places that would be lively, but coming at unconventional times. What is this? I don't know what Braille is. Bar, restaurant. Don't know if I'm in the industry. Oh, Defo's not promoting that. Got some flats, and then this lighting above, and I'm gonna try and get them both. Yeah. And then back to another way. The typical photo would be what here, right? I will take this photo, so we'll take the straight on. There's an ugly ass red bin in the image. Take 2 steps forward to get rid of that. Maybe 3 steps. Yep, it's gone. There might be certain lights flickering on your screen. Frame rate doesn't quite match up with the actual refresh speed of the lights, so that's why some lights will flicker. If I were to take even 2 or 3 steps just to get more of an angle, adds a little bit of depth to the image. All images that I deem to be wallpaper worthy will be packaged up into a lovely little wallpaper pack for you to download. All you need to do is click on the link below, follow any steps, and it's free. It's good to get back out there. I've not really done one of these in too long. Each time I do one of these, it does make me realise how much I value walking, in particular walking at night time. Before it was more out of necessity, didn't have a car or wheels to get about, so I was on foot, but it's part of the journey, it's part of the process. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes this episode of Night Vision. Episode 3, West End Wander. There's probably so many episodes I can do in the West End, there is lots to see. It's a note to self, is it is something that you need to do more often. Going out, shooting, recording, used to be so natural, just because there wasn't really, you don't have too many responsibilities, you can just do things and you're in the habit of doing them, so you just continue to do them. Habits need to be worked on and they need to be renewed and maintained. If you like the video, don't know about smashing the like button, you can tap the like button, click on the like button, a subscribe, a share. Those probably help me out more than a like does in particular. If there's anything that you want to see in particular, whether it's around Glasgow or even another city, feel free to drop it down below in the suggestions. And as always, peace, salam, Allah Hafiz.